Pretty Little Liars Summer School sometimes deals with disturbing and problematic topics. We've provided a list of content warnings in the episode description. Hello and welcome to Dead Ends. I'm Emily.
I'm Brenton.
And we have 2 new episodes of Pretty Little Liars Summer School for you.
For your spooky Halloween.
For your spooky Halloween.
In our matching sweaters.
Yeah, we have our Huey, Dewey, and Louie Halloween sweaters on for those that are visual listeners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for those who are not, it's the Huey, Dewey, and Louie from the Halloween sketch. I forget what that's. Oh, yeah.
It's like they're not like doing a SNL bit. Like
Huey, Dewey, and Louie. That's me trying to do dumb. That's all right. That's why I was not invited to SNL. Anyways, I'm really enjoying these episodes. I'm having a great time with this season.
This season's better.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no elaboration on that. Just done.
Imagine if I just did the whole podcast. I'm like, it's all right. Then I just sat here. I mean,
every single time it's like I say something, you're like, mm-hmm.
I'm like a therapist at this point. I'm Dr. Sullivan.
Oh no. Who knows?
I just feel like the plot's getting a little lazy. I think that's part of my problem.
With the switch to
Bloody Rose.
Yeah. And Spooky Spaghetti.
Which is the best phrasing I've ever heard. I stand by that. Mm-hmm. But I just wish they could have done different things with it.
Mm-hmm. That it's like now this like internet urban legend that's coming after them essentially, as far as we know.
And that like Mouse's journey is just like from making bad decisions to conspiracy theorist, which I'm not saying is inaccurate. Like it seems like a pretty logical line, but I'm just like, I don't know.
I mean, the biggest thing that's going on in Mouse's plotline is like someone really needs to check on her grandma and like her moms need to come home. Yeah, except her moms are on a Disney cruise.
Yeah, they're on a Disney dream cruise.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, that sounds nice. Mouse should
I like that it was specifically the Disney. I'm pretty sure she said Disney dream cruise. And I was like, specifically the Disney dream.
That's right. Thank you so much.
I've never been on that cruise ship.
I don't think Disney has any other stake in this, just Warner Brothers, but
isn't this is on HBO?
Mm-hmm.
Is that Warner Brothers now?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that was the whole thing. I mean, it was to begin with. They were already together, and then Warner Brothers merged with Discovery, and then that's when this all went to shit. That's when all the cancellations happened and things.
Okay. Well,
but I think maybe it's just that all I need is to have our individual people have their little romances and their little thing. Like yes. I love all that stuff, and I think that's why I'm really liking this.
No,
season.
I think this is a lot better. Like I do enjoy that a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I like a good romance plotline. I like a good like, ooh, who's this boy?
And I mean, even the one that I have qualms with, looking at you, Noah, it's more like Noah is. It's like you're just being a hot mess right now.
My biggest pet peeve is because they do this with bi characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the biphobia in the world is just like, well, bi person's gonna cheat on you.
Yep. Across all the PLL.
It's just so ingrained. I'm like, Jesus Christ, couldn't anyone else be stepping out?
Mm-hmm. I could see us having more grace with it too if it was like, oh, this is a person that I was close with, and all of a sudden I have romantic feelings for. I don't know what to do with. But like, no, this pre-exists.
Yeah, like when Emily kisses Maya in the original show,
mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, like this is newly emerging,
right? But then in that they go out of their way that what was her boyfriend's name? Ben is like an absolute shithead.
Exactly.
Where Sean is just like he's maybe not he doesn't run with the best company, maybe doesn't keep, but otherwise he seems like a pretty okay guy.
Yeah.
But I'm just enjoying all their individual plot lines a lot. Like, and I think a lot of the stuff that I didn't like from last season, looking at you, Mouse's plot line, looking at you, the Beasley, the stuff with Sheriff Beasley, isn't around. So it's kind of like, we're just having fun times with these characters, getting up into goofy shenanigans.
The fun and games portion of the storytelling.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm having a nice time.
Okay.
But we can have a nice time listening to this recap. Or not. Chapter 13, Sweet 16. Both of these episodes open with spookyspaghetti.com like fan videos, so fan recreations of something from the urban legends, the Brown Bloody Rose and stuff. So we see a Spooky Spaghetti video short. Spooky Spaghetti.
Spooky Spaghetti. That's how it came out of your mouth, I feel.
That's my really racist Italian mobster. Video short depicting Angela.
Well, but all the kids are saying Pookie now. Like to their partners. Like they're saying Pookie.
Oh, okay. Pookie Spaghetti.
Pookie Spaghetti.
Depicting Angela bringing her caged brother Archie birthday cake. He hands her a picture he's been drawing, and it's a Bloody Rose screaming. Mouse finds her and the friends' photos and cell phone numbers listed on the website. These are the new cell phone numbers they have. Lola wishes her happy birthday and says she made her favorite food, and Mouse is like, my birthday isn't in for another 3 days, which throws Lola. At Millwood High, Mouse tells the girls about Bloody Rose's video call.
The difference between Mouse and I is I would have said thank you, because I just assumed no one knew what day it was.
Yeah.
My grandmother called me the wrong name all the time, and she was totally fine. She just had too many grandchildren.
Yeah, but Lola is also, supposedly saw some,
Yeah.
there's some other signs going on. I mean, it's not until later, till she, drives her somewhere scary. But, you're kind of being like, oh no, something up here with Lola. Or, if you're Mouse's shoes, is what I'm saying. Obviously, the audience is like, oh no, what's going on with Lola? All the other girls realize they got random phone calls too, and somehow they think this is significant. I get random phone calls all the time. I would have been like, damn, that's weird you got a FaceTime from Bloody Rose. Anyways, Mouse shows them their photos and private numbers leaked, and they wonder who leaked them. Mouse says she emailed the Spooky Spaghetti to take down the information and mentions that Saturday is her Sweet 16, and then all the girls are like, it's a bit crazy at the moment. Maybe a party isn't a good idea. Mouse is disappointed, but later we see the other girls planning her surprise party for the Xanadu-themed birthday at the roller rink.
Which, so immediately when they start saying like, oh no, like I'm like, oh, they're planning a surprise party for her, to which Brenton looks at me as if I have 3 heads and a crystal ball.
See what we find out in this. Oh wait, no, I think I have this wrong. It just says Thursday. I had originally thought that Mouse was a Cancer, like me, but I'm pretty sure Mouse is a Gemini. So I was going to say us Cancers don't know this, but yeah, I would have been Mouse in this situation. Like,
well, it's always different when you're the person who's not being included. Like the vibe is different when people are lying to you and you know they're lying to you and you don't know why. Like that's a valid reaction. It's just as an audience member and as a woman, I can look at that and go, these girls are planning a surprise party. They're in high school, so they're like,
I was so worried with where this was going to go. And then like Ash tells her, I'm like, oh, thank God. But then we still end up with the bad end. And I was like, oh my God. So they took me on a roller coaster this episode.
Brenton had a lot of feelings before we got to Rosie Rats or whatever it was.
Rose E. Ricottas. That's what I'm talking about. This season's got some juice. You're coming up with Spooky Spaghetti, Rosie Ricotta. This is great. Okay, it mentions the girl. Okay, jump ahead. So they had a session with Dr. Sullivan. Mouse shares her worries about her grandma, and Dr. Sullivan is empathetic, but then it's just like, you could bring her in for an evaluation, but I noticed something else is bothering you. And we just sweep this under the rug. Mouse confesses the prank call she received from Bloody Rose, and then Dr. Sullivan recommends talking to the police, but Mouse isn't scared about her safety. She's just annoyed her friends are either too scared for her party or don't like her enough. Pastor Malachi announces he spoke with Sandy. I wanted to flag this. Pastor Malachi announces he spoke with Sandy Quinn's parents and she won't be spending the summer in Millwood anymore. Remember, Bloody Rose killed Sandy at the end of last episode. So who did Pastor Malachi talk to?
Oh.
Yeah. Interesting. Kelly Beasley offers herself to take Sandy's part in the play. Love it. Sydney.
She says, pick me.
It's so good in the middle of mass. Sydney Hawthorne comes home and awkwardly meets Christian, who's hanging out with Tabby. Imogen is distracted at work by how hot her coworker, manager, Johnny is. Noah asks if Jen gave out her number, and Jen says no. Imogen sees Johnny get a girl's number and gets annoyed, but then Kelly comes in and the two catch up. Kelly drops a stack of Redemption House flyers. On there to distribute, Imogen invites Kelly to Mouse's Sweet 16. Imogen and Christian discuss movies. He finds out that she hasn't seen Blackula, so he slyly invites her over to watch it at his house. I see what you're doing here. And see his special effects studio in his basement. At the Millwood pool, Faran opens her locker to find a two-piece bathing suit with a note attached that calls it her captain uniform. She yells at the boys to find out who's responsible and orders them to get on the concrete and do planks.
It's not just a two-piece bathing suit. It's got like...
It's like string.
Clear... Well, it's got clear straps. Like, it's like...
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's like plastic clear straps. Like, it's... I don't even know if it's really for the water, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It obviously trying to be skimpy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're sexualizing their boss.
Mm-hmm. At Pinball Pizza, Benny interrogates Noah and Jen about $20 missing from the register. Jen acts super suspicious, trying to deny it. You know where people go like super over the top, like defensive, and you know they did it? Noah covers for her and counts the register and says the total is there. At the creamery, Johnny asks another customer out. When he goes to the back, Imogen then walks over and is like, hey, he's a total player. And the girl's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They get in an argument, and then Johnny comes back and the girl leaves. Imogen calls him out on flirting with a bunch of girls, and Johnny's like, I don't know what the problem is. I'm single, I want to have fun, I'm hot, and don't be a stuck-up prude. Noah confronts Jen in the back alley of Pinball Pizza. Noah covered her with her own $20 and warns Jen not to pull her into her shit. Jen says her mom and her need the money more than Benny. As Noah walks back inside, she tells Jen she owes her $20. Tabby and Christian go to his house, and she overcomes her nerves to follow him into his basement studio. She is easing up when she finds a mask of Archie Waters and another one of Bloody Rose. Christian runs downstairs and tries to explain it, but Tabby warns him away and runs off. Mouse finds that Spooky Spaghetti removed their private information. Hooray! Henry talks to Faran about his role in Redemption House and asks how her job is going. She complains about the treatment that she receives from the boys. Henry gives terrible advice and says to earn their respect, you gotta loosen up and act like one of the guys. Henry, you're an idiot. Tabby and Imogen catch...
I literally wrote, he deserves to be lied to. This boy's too stupid for the truth.
Nail on the head. Tabby and Imogen catch up, and Tabby is upset by the mask, but doesn't think Christian's bad or evil. He just, found something that he was interested in and made a mask of it, but wishes she didn't have to deal with PTSD to date boys. Imogen is upset that Johnny is too much of a flirt. The next day, Mouse tells the girls the exciting news about their private numbers and photos being taken down. It's like, now we can have the party. They come up with more excuses not to have it. Imogen apologizes to Johnny about yesterday. He acts weird and he's like, hey, everything I do with girls is like 100% consensual. And she's like, you looked me up. And he's like, I did. And I read entries on Spooky Spaghetti. He's like, he's like, I'm not a bad dude. I just like to have a good time. But I'm not attacking these women. Christian apologizes to Tabby for the masks and said he made them before he met Tabby. She asks why those masks. And he's like, well, I've been on Spooky Spaghetti. Who hasn't? She asks if he posted a private number, and he denies it, and asks if she thinks he's the type of guy that would do that. Tabby's like, no, and tells him about Chip, and Christian feels bad, and Tabby lightens the mood and invites him to Mouse's birthday party. At the Millwood pool, Faran spots a guy dozing off on duty, so she recruits the other boys to play a prank on him. Imogen yawns at work, and Johnny offers her the cot in the back office for a nap. She accepts. Mouse vents to Ash about no one doing anything for her birthday and thinks it'll be the worst weekend of her life, and he's like, okay, I have to come clean. I'm sorry. Your friends are planning a surprise party, but don't say anything. Noah gives Jen the cold shoulder at work. Jen stops a few Rosewood boys who are leaving who didn't leave a tip, and they make sex jokes at her. Jen stomps off, and Noah confronts the boys and orders them to pay up. Noah finds Jen huddled up outside and hands her the tip from them. Noah apologizes for yelling at her and explains that she can't go back to juvie. Noah invites her to Mouse's birthday party. Jen asks her if Sean will be there, and Noah's like, no, it's not his scene. Wink, wink. Imogen emerges from the back and tells Johnny she had a weird dream. We then get the diner. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is almost this is Brenton becoming Tabby for a sec. This is almost a 1-to-1 recreation of the diner scene from Mulholland Drive. If you haven't seen that movie, You could look up the scene like just like on its own because it's not really. It's like a vignette, like as part of the movie that's like kind of helps explain the movie, but isn't like plot critical or anything. Also, the movie's like super dreamlike. So
I don't remember much of the movie except being confused. I think I was half asleep though.
I understand being confused. It's a bit confusing for sure. But if you did
and
want to,
it wasn't like my vibe, at the time.
Yeah, I get it.
When you're in the mood to watch like a Hercules and someone puts on something that makes you think. Not that Hercules doesn't make you think.
But yeah, I mean, Mulholland Drive is very, slow, kind of panning shots around a room as they're going through places, and it's like very like dreamlike and surreal. So that's what they literally recreate this scene from Mulholland Drive. Definitely check it out. It's a great scene. That's probably my favorite scene in the movie. Mulholland Drive is one of my favorite movies, so that's why I bring it up. Anyways, Imogen tells Johnny that she had this horrible dream where she got attacked by something horrible by the outside dumpster. He offers to go outside with her, but Imogen turns him down. She retraces her steps to the dumper outside and is grabbed by Bloody Rose. Imogen wakes up from the nightmare and goes back out to the front. Johnny asks if she slept, and she says, yes, I had a weird dream and I don't want to talk about it. Faran finds the lifeguard chair empty and a child drowning. She saves the girl, and after, Faran grills all the boys and fires the one who is on duty. Johnny tells Imogen that she can leave early, and she invites him to Mouse's party. Faran tells Henry about the pool and that she needs to be her own powerful self and not one of the guys. He's like, yes, I see this now. Very smart. Very wise. She comes clean about being cleared for dance, and he is upset and tells her he needs some time to process it. The girls gather at the roller rink. Faran and Noah ask each other if their boyfriends are coming, and each respond they couldn't make it. Lola gathers Mouse and lets slip she's supposed to take her to the surprise party. All the invited dates come: Johnny, Jen, and Christian. Christian admits he can't skate, but Tabby offers to help. Very cute. Lola brings Mouse to an abandoned Rose E. Ricotta's. We love this. I love this pun name. Rose Entertainment Ricotta. Lola...
That'll be the name of our first daughter.
Exactly. Rosie Ricotta. First name Entertainment.
Our second child will be Spooky Spaghetti.
Or it's like Rose will be her first name, but we call her Entertainment.
Well, yeah, we call her Entertainment.
For people who don't know, it's a play on Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese is where a chain of restaurants where there were games and would serve pizzas for like children, and they have animatronics that do shows.
It was a great place to have a birthday party in the 90s.
Oh, it was the best.
The ball pits just like literally had staph infection in them. Like I remember as a child, my mom like wouldn't let me go in the Chuck E. Cheese ball pit. I was allowed to play in the Burger King one, but not the Chuck E. Cheese one. I don't know. I didn't go to a lot of Chuck E. Cheese parties though, because it was, you had to go to, I think, to Fresno, because I was in a small town in the Central Valley of California. You had to go to Fresno to get to a Chuck E. Cheese, I'm pretty sure. So unless there was one in Visalia. I don't know.
Okay, at least a little closer.
30 or 45 minutes. I mean, it's
yeah, that makes sense. It was like 10, 15 minutes from my house.
And then they built John's Incredible Pizzas. And those became the cool place really cool, to have a party. Yeah, they had laser tag. I ran into a wall playing laser tag in one of those. I have no depth perception and can't see in the dark. I looked behind me and I smacked into a wall.
Gotta watch out for Emily on the.
And I got shot too. One of my friends had the audacity to shoot me when I was already struggling. Kicked me.
Someone's like, points.
It's in 8th grade.
We're not friends in the laser tag, Emily. Oh yeah, Lola assures her it's a super secret surprise, and then Mouse is like, okay, and goes inside the sketchy building and finds a little birthday cake with a rose and a party hat and a card next to it. The card says, "This is your birthday test. A final girl must escape any death trap. You hide, I seek." Mouse tries all the doors, but they're locked. She sees Bloody Rose stalking around the restaurant, trying to find her, and Mouse hides in a cabinet. Meanwhile, the other girls enjoy the roller rink. Faran, Kelly, and Imogen take note. Oh yeah, did I already write that Kelly and Greg came? Why Greg? And then everybody's happy to see Greg.
Everyone's always happy to see Greg.
It's so annoying.
You know who should have been at the Rosie Ricottas?
Greg.
Also,
like, he's like, harassing Faran at her job.
Did you know that Chuck E. Cheese's do Halloween events?
Are they still around? I thought they closed down.
They're still around. You can go to the one in Visalia.
I thought they went out of business.
No. I remember they didn't, because I remember watching a YouTube video, because there's a conspiracy theory about Chuck E. Cheese reusing pizza that's not eaten.
Okay, I remember this
And
now.
so I knew they had some still in big cities like LA and stuff, because the people in the video went and bought pizzas. Because part of Chuck E. Cheese's pizzas, when they are cut, they look like as if you took like 5 different pizzas and stuck them together. Sometimes. I don't know. I don't go to Chuck E. Cheese, and I don't think I'd be going for the pizza. But there's nothing else to eat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I remember like seeing, I was like, oh my God, they're still all open. But that was like a good couple years ago. But
right, was that
yeah.
pre-pandemic?
It might have been during the pandemic, but I don't remember.
Okay.
But there's even a coupon, 60 minutes of all you can play for $19.99 through November 11th.
Don't say you didn't learn anything on this show.
A free pizza upgrade. Yeah. Check out your local Chuck E. Cheese if you know.
Use code DEADENDS for 20% off.
No, we don't have a code.
That's wild.
2 large 1-topping pizzas and 4 fountain drinks is $53.99. You know.
Yeah. Wait, it was $15.99?
$53.99.
Oh, 2 large 1-topping pizzas and 4.
2.
Man, things have gotten expensive.
Yeah, every time we order
wanna
pizza now, I'm like, damn, this is expensive.
Yeah. I don't want to be that old guy of being like, damn, the price of everything's gone up, but it has.
Yeah, it's like when I got Chipotle, because usually you buy my Chipotle, so I don't pay attention to the price. We share a bank account. It's not like, but when I was on my trip with my old coworkers, I obviously paid for my own food, and I was like, this is like $15. Like, I gotta start budgeting my guacamole.
Expensive.
It's expensive out there.
Yeah. Back in our day, you used to be able to bring your report cards to the Chuck E. Cheese and they gave you tokens. I never did it, but I always wanted to. I saw all the commercials. Okay, but back to the scary Rosie. No, actually, back to the roller rink. Faran, Kelly, and Imogen take note of Noah and Jen skating around. And Kelly, bless her heart, says, oh, those two seem close. And then Greg makes a joke that they are lesbian lovers and everybody hits him. Tabby and Christian hold hands while he learns to skate. I hate when Greg's right. Tabby and Christian hold hands while he learns to skate. Ashley arrives at the Honrada house and asks Lola where Mouse is. And Lola's like, I dropped her off at the place for the surprise. Ash asks for details. Mouse smells smoke and realizes the place has been set on fire. She climbs through the air vents to escape. Ash tells the girls about Mouse being dropped off at a Rosie Ricotta's, but Lola doesn't remember where. They eventually figure out the location. Mouse escapes as the friends arrive, and she says it's starting again. The end. Sorry, I think you had more. I just wanted to finish that up.
There's a Chuck E. Cheese that's less than 10 miles away.
Listen.
Date night.
That's right.
No.
I can't have the pizza.
I probably can't either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless they make gluten-free.
We could look, but
Yeah.
we'll save that for another time.
Okay. But yeah, we'll do that off mic.
Yeah, or give people something to look forward to if they keep listening.
Oh, that's right. Exactly. That's it. Stay tuned to find out if they have those allergy-safe crusts.
That's what you guys come to us for, right? Is Chuck E. Cheese information.
Uh-huh. We don't do like the mid-roll abs. We just put it right into the content.
Except it's not an ad, and we are not being paid to talk about Chuck E. Cheese. We're not being paid at all.
Hey, they slip in a fountain drink. Well, maybe we'll be talking here.
You would advertise Chuck E. Cheese for a soda.
Selling my soul is so very little.
It's good to know I married a man of morals.
That's right.
He's got a lot of backbone, folks. Okay, Lola has dementia, and I'm so sad.
It's really sad.
At least I assume.
Yeah, I assume that's where it's going.
Or she's being like drugged by or something by Bloody Rose.
Oh.
Or messed with.
Could be. That could be something. I feel like this is a thing in horror movies where they take someone like a senior, an older person, and they like externalize their like mental slippage and stuff as like either spirits or something to go on with there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how I feel about it here, but it is sad because it's like, oh, I really like Lola, and then now Lola is just being confused all the time, and
that's gotta be
sad.
scary.
Yeah.
I said at this point we should keep track of how many times they say spooky spaghetti in each episode. But we did not.
Stay tuned for next episode where I keep track. They say it so many times. Everybody's on spooky spaghetti. Let me tell you. Yeah. Every single person is just like, yeah, I read about it on spooky spaghetti. That's their news source in this world. Kids get all their news from Spooky Spaghetti.
Okay.
This is what we need to be working on.
That's he can get
We need to save the children.
Back in his day, the kids didn't go on Spooky Spaghetti. Oh my god, I just gave up mid-word. And Chuck E. Cheese used to give you free tokens. It was a better world in the 90s.
Damn right.
No, we just didn't know a lot.
We didn't.
Let's talk about Pastor Malachi for a minute. Is Mrs. Beasley fucking him? Yes or no?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
You don't. That's in the next episode, but you don't go. Listen, you don't go into the same. If you're not Catholic, you might not know. You don't go into the same side of the confessional booth.
No, it's very small. Well,
Exactly.
unless you're doing face to face, but then those are usually different confessionals.
The different side, right?
Yeah, they're still like you enter your own door.
Mm-hmm. One door, canoodling. Two doors, confession.
Sometimes for face to face, it was just you opened the little window. Like you still got in on your side, but there was a window you could open.
So I only did that once.
I only did face to face confession for my first confession, and I did it in the priest's like office at the parish building or whatever it was, where my dad was having an affair with the choir director.
Not the family member who should be going to confession.
No, and I remember because I did it right before I got First Holy Communion, so I was 8, and like I'm like, oh, forgive me, Father, for I've sinned, and then I'm like, I don't know, probably like picked on my brother or something, and he's like, anything else? I'm like, I'm 8, like I didn't rob a bank, like. Yeah. I'm like trying to come up with things that I might have, like I'm lying to make the priest happy in confession.
Look what you made me do, Father.
I'm like, yeah, I stole a candy bar. I've never stolen anything.
I'm embezzling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we had it set up it was essentially face-to-face confession at the front of the church. Like they just had they had multiple lanes, and there would be that you would go, and there would be like up front, literally like on the altar. There was like 2 chairs, or if you went down the side, then you can go to the confessional booths.
How many priests did you have?
3, I think.
Oh, we had 1.
Yeah, we had a rotation of priests.
Oh,
we were abundant.
Wow.
The Lord hath blessed us.
Okay, what is Pastor Malachi's connection with Bloody Rose then? Since you were pawing at that earlier.
Yeah, there's got to be something. Because it's hard. I don't know if they're co-opting the Spooky Spaghetti urban legend to essentially go after people that they deem unpure, because that's been all the kills so far. And then still speaking almost like the speaking in the parlance of like film of like calling them final girls and stuff is almost like a smokescreen maybe, or like I guess could be we're adapting like what the kids talk about on Spooky Spaghetti for this. So maybe it's an orchestration or working together to purge the town, as they call it.
But then how would Bloody Rose know about, what's her name? The girl that she killed that was...
Sandy,
thank you.
So if he would be working with Bloody Rose...
but how does anyone know about Sandy and Greg besides Kelly? I mean, he's got ears. Pastor
within
Malachi?
The church.
Okay.
Because I think they were literally talking within the church when Sandy is like, oh, I'm going to have sex with Greg, essentially. So many words.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's my best guess so far.
Fair enough. Let's talk about Johnny. Imogen's like, boys will be monsters, like girl code, and that girl just turns her down, but then also turns down Johnny, which is a choice. Like, I mean, get it, girl.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if a girl looked at me and they were like, oh, like even at that age, and they're like, oh, he's a player, I'm like, thank you. I'm going to make this mistake anyway, but thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad I know going into it.
Yeah, it seems weird of like, don't kill my buzz, but then also at the same time of like, okay, but if you're coming to me about this guy, then like, what the hell is your relationship? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, is that your boyfriend? Is that your ex? Like,
yeah, what's going on?
Either way, if something's going on here, I want no part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a very aggressive response.
It's a very aggressive response. I just been like, thank you, and walked away. Like, it's not like she's married to him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
She just met him.
Yeah.
Do you trust Johnny?
He does seem suspicious. Yes, only because he takes that. Well, mostly because of the end of this episode. But he does take that like turn of like acts like an asshole, and then it's like, oh well, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had trauma like that. You know what I mean?
Which is one of those things that really annoys me because like you should just assume, like you should just be nice to everybody.
Yeah.
And I get that sometimes we just get mean and hot-headed and we're young, but you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I hope it works out, and it's just like, yeah,
He's a lot more likable in the second episode, but I'm kind of like, are these even the same character? And then that makes me suspicious.
right.
Not like I think it's the same person, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like, is he playing a game?
Right. Is it?
Or is he trying to like white knight her?
That
like,
was gonna be
this thing happened to you, so now I have to protect you as a man.
Uh-huh. That's where I'm thinking it is. That it's this like, oh, I have someone to take care of.
In my little head, I'm pretending that he just like he'd recently gotten his heart broken by somebody, and so he was like, oh, like I'm gonna be a player, I'm gonna do these things, and then he meets Imogen and she calls him out on it, and he's like, I'm not this person. And then he's like, oh my god, and then he looks her up because he's like, who is she? And then he's like, wow, I should probably read the local news more because it seems like this isn't a very big town and I should probably already know this information. But these girls, I guess these girls, no, wait, their names weren't included.
No.
Because it's a closed, yeah.
He looked it up on
Spooky Spaghetti. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
But, you kind of hate him. He's a bit of a dick. And it's like, like Imogen said, it's like, oh, he knows he's hot. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I worked at an ice cream parlor, and a lot of the guys that I worked with there who were like closer to my age thought they were really hot. And I was like, baby, you're covered in ice cream and you smell like rotten milk when you go home.
It's the dairy, it gets to their head.
It's the dairy.
But,
that was the first place a coworker sexually harassed me.
That's a fond memory.
What a joy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what a better place. God. Being a woman is harrowing, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
But in the say it starts coming around, you're like, they're kind of cute, aren't they?
Yeah, he's cute. Like they're cute vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, and if it makes you feel better, the mouse bloody rose stuff is happening at least close enough in time to when everybody's at the roller rink. So Christian, Johnny.
I don't think it's
Jen.
Christian or Johnny or Jen that are involved in the bloody rose, unless they're accidentally leaking information.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would actually make sense. Like of how that's how they got their information to post up there.
Mm-hmm. But what do I know? Let's talk about Christian then. Will Christian be good to Tabby, or is he a creep?
He just seems like a nice nerdy boy. I don't think they're necessarily gonna pull that same stunt twice. He seems like he's doing all right.
And how do we feel about his creepy masks?
It's pretty creepy. I could definitely see.
Oh no, 100%. It makes the most sense in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Even Tabby's like, this makes sense.
And the poor guy, he goes like, "Oh, do you think I'm that type of person?" It's like, oh,
I think it's always the ones you don't suspect.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
It's all of them. That's actually the problem, is that you can't look at a man and know if he's a rapist.
Right. Is exactly what Tabby and Imogen are like. We like boys, so this sucks. Which is a good scene. Like I like that scene where Tabby's just like, I wish I just didn't have to deal with all the PTSD of just trying to meet someone.
Uh-huh.
And be with someone.
And being afraid that they're going to try to hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Is Sean still doing drugs?
We should ask this question every single episode until we find an answer. I'm thinking yes. But Sean other than his shenanigans of, here's the other thing. Is Ash going along with these shenanigans at the pool? I hope not. I hope Ash, keep your nose out of whatever they're doing to Faran at the pool.
So you see Ash kind of there, but you never see Ash in like any of the scenes where they get in trouble with Faran. Do you notice that?
Yeah, it's only when they they prank the other guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But maybe Ash is just not working at the same time. Keeps his nose out of it.
Yeah, Ash is just a good guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whereas Sean, I'm like, you're definitely in on this.
Oh yeah, Sean is complicit, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I love Faran whipping them all into shape, though.
me too.
And then she takes Henry's advice, or like Henry tries to give her the worst advice imaginable of just cave. They'll like you better. Be smaller. And she's like, absolutely not.
Did Noah actually invite Sean to the party?
No.
But don't you think Sean's going to find out that he wasn't invited to the party?
Yeah, this is kind of a house of cards she's really building, isn't it?
And what is she doing?
Well, Noah is the biggest mess this season. What a mess.
It makes me so sad.
Yeah.
I love her.
It's true. It's kind of like this car crash that you're just watching. And it is. Yeah, she's just.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
Girly, no.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm assuming that she decided that this was not Sean's scene. And is like, oh, I don't want to come. Or, the way that her and Faran are both like, they couldn't come. They're busy. Faran, you understand. It's like, my boyfriend's being a stupid shit.
Well, and you joined a cult.
Yes, he did. I couldn't go dance, so I joined a cult. People, if your dancers don't get into Juilliard or ABT, keep an eye on them because they could end up in a cult.
That is the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, never mind. I was going to go into how Dancing with the Stars pulls a lot from Utah and that there's a lot of Mormons involved in ballroom dance, but we can table that discussion for another time. It's not relevant.
I mean, well, and so Chandler also, they gave her pretty good scores.
Are we going into a Dancing with the Stars review?
Yeah, do you want to take a?
We can take a detour.
Yeah. We'll put a timestamp here. You can skip ahead on the little. But yeah, it seems like they're judging her the harshest, and she's
because she was a dancer, like a really good dancer.
Yeah, she's the best by far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're doing somewhat what they did to Charlie D'Amelio to her, but they're being worse because she's older. That's my theory.
Yeah, I could see that. Real bar,
and also because they're racist. Let me back up the train.
That is true.
It's just an unspoken starting point in the conversation is that it's suspicious.
And they gave similar scores to Danny and Mandola too.
Everyone's obsessed with Danny, and my Dancing with the Stars hot take is that Danny doesn't do anything but pick up Whitney. Mm-hmm. And granted, the lifts they do are hard. You have to be strong. But it's not the same as dance.
Yeah.
And just pure dance and having musicality and rhythm and the elegance. I'll be interested to see when he has to be back in frame in a ballroom dance, what that looks like.
Mm-hmm. Completely.
Meanwhile, Joey from The Bachelor, never watched The Bachelor. That's not my vibe. Obsessed with this man.
So good.
He's the greenest flag I've ever seen.
It's true. He's doing so good out there. He's really good.
And every week he just drops some random piece of lore, he can juggle or it's just the randomest thing. You're just he sweats a lot. He gets Botox for his sweating, which I'm oh.
Yeah, he was I was a powder puff cheerleader, right?
He doesn't think he was just a cheerleader.
Oh, I thought there was some specific thing.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Either way. But yeah, we're not Danny fans in this house.
No. I don't like football.
And
I don't celebrate the players.
That's right. But every week we vote for Steven, Alona, and Chandler. So those are the horses.
Yes, those are. And if you live on the West Coast and you want to vote, you have to vote before you watch the show. So
it's the worst.
It's stupid.
It's already done by the time
Disney
we get it.
Fix it.
Yeah.
I have to check for updates on TikTok to find out if the people I like got sent home. It's very Tuesday nights are very stressful for me.
It's very
when
stressful.
You're listening to this podcast on a Tuesday, just know I am so stressed refreshing my TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Making sure Alona did good.
Yeah. Just absolutely panicking for her, even though she always crushes it.
Yeah. The best.
Okay.
All right. Segment over.
Back to let's talk about Mouse now. Mouse predicts it. She's this is going to be the worst 16th birthday party of my life. And everyone's it will be, girly. There's a lot of just saying it in this episode. Greg's oh, they look cute. And He doesn't say it like that, but
If he did say it like that, it would be a little better.
why would Lola take her to a Chuck E. Cheese knockoff and leave without seeing anybody there? Like that to me. And why would Lola take her anywhere from a phone call? Then, like in this next episode, we get Lola telling us that like the voice came from beyond, and they said they were Rose or whatever. And it's like, Lola, you know that's not one of her friends. Like,
yeah, what are you doing? Really worried about Lola.
Lola should not be driving.
Absolutely not. It's oh God, it's real harrowing.
Why did Bloody Rose trap Mouse?
Oh, out of all of them?
Yeah. A mouse trap.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Maybe because it's because it's Bloody Rose and not A. But it seems like Bloody Rose is more A than Archie was last season.
Yes.
So it maybe if we are playing by those rules, like Bloody Rose knows what's going on.
Bloody Rose took a note out of Cece's book.
And
but like before we knew Cece was A.
I'm like, oh, it's kind of like Saw-ish, where there's like trial set up. Not the same way, because Saw's like, oh, you stole, so now I'm stealing your fingers. I don't know. I don't remember Saw that well. But it's like bad people getting...
Me when
like,
I can't figure out what to write next in my stories.
Yeah. It's like people that did bad things getting comeuppances. But essentially the trial portion of like, oh, you have to survive this, is what Bloody Rose is aiming to do, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, I guess Mouse was just the first on her list and happened to know maybe that all the rest of them were lying to her about not having a surprise party.
Okay.
And if it's more like A, then, you know, how A would figure out stuff.
What do they tell the guests at this party about Mouse? So, like, imagine you're at a party, right? For someone, it's a surprise party, and you're at a roller rink, and you're having fun, and you brought ice cream from the creamery, and you put it in the freezer, and you're with this girl, and it's cute, and you're having a good time, and then she's like, "Oh my God, we have to go." What did Imogen and Tabby tell Christian and Johnny and Kelly and the other guests
and Jen?
Yeah. Yeah, and
it's
Jen.
so funny. We all have to leave now.
Like, did they just leave and not tell anybody? Or like...
because no one asked in the next episode. No one
asked about it in the next episode. So was it like, oh my gosh, Mouse got sick?
We need to go see her or something?
Yeah.
There's no follow-up.
Not even like it's weird your friend didn't show up for her surprise party.
Right. Or why did everybody leave early? I don't know. Interesting. We gotta go. And we just left.
Well, that's all I have for you for that episode.
Okay. I think... Oh, the other thing I wanted to say. I didn't include it in my notes.
Oh.
But Redemption House...
Yes.
Is like an interactive theater. Again, the stakes... I've never been more excited for Redemption House. But it reminded me of that there's this interactive theater in New York that's famous that's closing down called Sleep No More. That has been running since 2011. And the reason I thought about that, and I have a picture of what interactive theater is because of an episode of Girls in 2016.
From when I made you binge watch all of Girls with me because they were ending the show.
Yeah, it was a great show. I had a good time. But anyways,
People have a lot of opinions on Lena Dunham, and that's fair and valid, but it's a good show.
Oh, yeah. I had a great time.
It was a good show of that time. I don't know, like, if I rewatched it now, what I would think. When it first aired, I tried to watch it, and it was too sad. And then, like, once I started to get towards the end of college and was graduating, I was like, this is exactly where I am in life. I'm very depressed. And it was perfect.
I just need to watch these hot messes.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, damn, I'm doing better than them.
Yeah, it might be hard just now because it's like, oh, this is tough to watch some of these people. Like some of the Marnie stuff, it's like, oh God.
The Marnie stuff is, yeah. But I love Shoshana.
Oh, yeah, the best. But for people, when we say the Marnie stuff, for those who haven't seen Girls, it's like cringe of just like, oh, she's doing something right now and like, in front of like an audience, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
So
the actresses really committed on that show, and that's one of the things I love.
Yes, they did. My last thing. Oh no, where'd it go?
And it's why I can't stand Adam Driver. Like, I think he's a really great actor because I still get a visceral reaction when I see him because of the character he played on that show.
Yeah, he's horrible. Adam, right? I think that's
Does he
just
play
the character's
Adam?
name.
I can't remember.
Yeah. My last thing was a quote that I wrote down, which from Faran, when she runs out with the bathing suit, goes, "Which one of you incels does this belong to?"
It is a good one.
Icon.
She's an icon. She's a legend.
Absolutely. But that's it. We can go to the next one. Chapter 14, When a Stranger Calls Back. We open on another spooky spaghetti video, this time with Rose restrained to a bed as Archie stands over her with a knife. She apologizes for putting him in a cage, and he makes a slice on her face. Mouse tells the liars about Bloody Rose stalking her and the game and Rosie Ricottas, and the note that Bloody Rose left her, and that one of them could be next. Faran wants to square up with Bloody Rose, and I'm like, she absolutely should. Little did I know that she totally would. Imogen suggests asking Dr. Sullivan for help and calls her, but gets a voicemail, so she leaves a message to schedule an emergency session. Mouse asks Lola about the phone call she got, asking her to take Mouse to the party. Lola explains the woman's name was Rose, and she was calling from the other side. Mouse tells the girls she's worried their summoning for Rose Waters worked. Imogen gets a call from Dr. Sullivan's office. The receptionist tells Imogen that Dr. Sullivan had an accident and is recovering in the hospital. The girls think that A might have attacked, that Bloody Rose might have attacked her. Imogen volunteers to track down Dr. Sullivan. Bloody Rose attacked her. Kelly and Greg rehearse for a redemption house where they play act a teen couple who had sex and Kelly got pregnant. Greg says he is supportive of Kelly's decision no matter what, and Pastor Malachi gets mad because they're going off script, and Kelly's like, I did some rewrites because I have doubts about the content and it could be hurtful to people I care about. Pastor Malachi's like, your doubts are the devil's doubts. Amazing. Thank you. And she needs to go to confession and accept her peasant. Damn, so anybody at home, if you're having those doubts out there, just know that's the devil's doubts in you, man. Imogen visits Dr. Sullivan at the hospital by lying that she's Sullivan's daughter. Dr. Sullivan says she was leaving her office when someone pushed her down the stairs. It was probably a former patient of mine, as that's been known to happen. Thank you, Dr. Sullivan.
It's the casualness for me.
And not elaborating. The fact that she has not told any of them about what happened in Rosewood. Anyways, she asks about Imogen's message, and Imogen lies that it was a false alarm. Tabby's working at the Orpheum when she gets a call from an unknown number. It's the chairwoman from Pift, and they want to see something more recent from Tabby. Tabby later tells Christian that she has 2 days to send them something. Christian is excited about the challenge and offers to help. That night, the girls have ice cream at the Millwood Creamery where Imogen... This is where you ask, it's like, she has 2 days. How much time is she wasting?
Yeah, I was like, Tabby girl, you have... But then I was like, oh, she's actually recruiting actors, so never mind. She had a plan.
She got to wine and dine him.
I doubted her time management, and that's on me. I shouldn't have done that. I should have believed in her.
We all learned lessons. I, too, did not believe in her.
I'm going to own that, and I apologize.
Yeah. Imogen said she's going to keep tabs on Dr. Sullivan. Mouse admits that she might be responsible for creating Bloody Rose because during the early days of Spooky Spaghetti during the trial, she went online and posted details of A's mask being stitched together. People took that detail and built on the legend. The girls all agree that she's not actually responsible for Bloody Rose. Imogen doesn't think it's Rose Waters under the bandages, and Mouse suggests that
she's like 70 plus, right?
Uh-huh. So they're like, we have to track down the real Rose Waters using Spooky Spaghetti. Tabby has writer's block, so goes in... Wait, 70? Yeah. Tabby has writer's block, so goes into her closet and takes out a shoebox. Wait.
Well, no, maybe not, because she had him in high school, huh?
Yeah.
And it could be in her, like, 50s.
50s, 60s.
Yeah, never mind. You know what? I take it back.
Yeah, because it was the similar age as the principal.
Like, Madonna could kick my ass in her 50s. You know what I mean? Like, she probably could still now. But I just remember her being on, like, I think it was an episode of Oprah, and her, like, showing that she could still, like, she did the splits while standing on 2 chairs or whatever. And I was just like, if I'm ever as fit as Madonna, I, too, would go on Oprah.
And show off.
I was, like, 7. I'm like, I will never be that fit.
Something to shoot for.
Is it? I mean, it's impressive, but like, obviously, I didn't commit to it.
So Tabby has writer's block, so goes into her closet and takes out a shoebox. She flashes back to hanging out with Chip in her room, and then we later learn in the episode that this is where they would come up with film ideas and put them in the shoebox. Tabby pitches Christian her new short idea, and he loves it. Christian encourages her to be the star of the movie as well as the director. Imogen goes back to the hospital and monitors Dr. Sullivan, much to Dr. Sullivan's chagrin. They do crossword puzzles together, and that triggers a flashback to Imogen and Davy doing crosswords together. Dr. Sullivan's like, "Where did you go just now?" Very Fleabag. Not quite as better. And Imogen explains that she and Davy used to do crossword puzzles together when she was sick or hurt. Imogen asks if she can call any family or friends for Dr. Sullivan, and Dr. Sullivan's like, "No, I'm fine." Suspicious. I mean, she is fine, but like, All the girls plus Christian and Ash help film Tabby short. Benny answers the phone at Pinball Pizza, but there's no one on the other line. This freaks out Noah, who's like worried about Bloody Rose and things, and goes out back to calm herself. Jen follows her and asks if she's okay, and Ashley wants to skip the rest of their shift, and Noah agrees. Jen offers her her dad's place as somewhere where they can go. Mouse posts on Spooky Spaghetti that she wants to join. That on the post, I want to join our dark mother in her kingdom, like Nick and Sabrina, and then this is all to try and find Rose Waters. Faran is working at the pool when Henry visits with flowers and apologizes for how he reacted. He understands if she doesn't want to dance anymore and mentions he signed up for swimming lessons at the YMCA so he can be closer to her. She instead offers him private lessons. Noah and Jen arrive at her dad's house, which is a huge mansion. Jen's like, my dad's an asshole, left me and my mom when we needed him most. They drink and have a good time. And then Noah says, but she knows like the code to get into the house. They drink and have a good time. Noah says they should steal one of his Rolexes to get back at him, and Jen agrees. Rob Winters calls Imogen to watch Estelle while they go out of town because she has an ear infection and can't fly on a plane, and they have to go to a family member's funeral, so she leaves Dr. Sullivan and rushes over. At the Winters' house, Imogen asks if she's really their only option, and Rob's like, "We needed someone we could trust. Someone who wouldn't let anything happen to our baby." You're just setting her up to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just going to come back around. Kelly enters church to see Pastor Malachi and her mother touching before going into a confessional booth together. Same door. Kelly gets angry and invites Greg to go skinny dipping.
Yeah, but you got into a confessional with the same door with them.
That's what I'm saying. You go in one door, like I said earlier, one door, canoodling. 2 doors, confession.
Do other churches besides the Catholic Church do confession?
I have no idea.
I'll Google this while you keep going.
Thank you. Tabby edits her film and flashes back to her and Chip spitballing ideas for the short film she just shot. She's actually the one that came up with the idea, but feels weird about having made plans with him. Imogen answers a call from Rob, who tells her that he got an alert saying one of their windows is open. She grabs a knife from the kitchen and goes to bring Estelle downstairs. She literally has the baby in one arm and a knife in the other, and I would never do this. She invites Johnny over, who agrees to come hang. Henry and Faran get into the pool and start making out until they're interrupted by Greg and Kelly coming to skinny dip. Faran reluctantly says it's okay for them to stay and swim. Imogen hears an ominous knocking from the front door and opens it to Johnny, who sees she's obviously distressed. He gently asks if she's in the middle of a spiral. She nods yes, and he asks if she wants to hand him the knife and the baby so she can have a moment to herself. Kelly tells Faran she's glad her and Henry are doing better. Faran realizes that he's been talking about their relationship at church, and Kelly assures her that it's a part of Pastor Malachi's group sessions in which everyone has to participate, where they get super vulnerable and truthful. And as Kelly puts it, the group trauma bonds. Kelly says Henry's been struggling with the fact that Faran's been lying to him for so long, and Faran is upset about this and looks at Henry angrily. Johnny asks Imogen if she's okay. She admits it's been a crazy couple of days and tells him about someone attacking Mouse and Dr. Sullivan. She says if she tells him more, she'll scare him off. He says he doesn't mind and respects her putting it all out there. He says he's here if she needs him. Mr. Winters calls Imogen and says he saw a young man enter earlier on the Ring camera. She says it's her friend who is just leaving. Johnny laughs and offers to sit in his car to wait for her. Mouse gets a ton of locations to follow up on Rose, and her and Ash head out to scout on his bike. Ooh, he rides a motorcycle, people.
Other churches do use confessionals. It's just like not super, like it depends on you know what I mean? Depends on the
church, essentially.
Yeah.
Interesting. Not denomination, but like individual church.
Right? No. Like I think like, so like from what Protestant churches do like a group confession where it's just like it's just like a service where you're there's no in between you and God. You confess to God, so you don't need to like say it out loud. From what I just read,
fair enough,
which was skimming. But then like nice. I think it said like some Lutheran churches, but then also some like other churches, like, and I think it kind of depends on the church. So
okay, yeah, that kind of sounds better. Why do I need an
Have
intermediary?
you gone to confession? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
What did you tell the priest during your first confession if you were a child?
That's right.
Did you too make up lies about things you did just to have something to talk about?
Probably had to. Kelly comes home to an angry mother who calls her impure and a sinner. From outside the house, we hear Kelly plead with her mom. The next morning, Kelly wakes up in the floor of the prayer room at her house in front of an altar. She opens the door and Martha greets her with breakfast and reminds her daughter to be strong for the town. And Kelly promises that she will be. Imogen leaves the Winter's house and sees Johnny parked out front. She's pleasantly surprised that he stayed. He says he promised that he would. And I think it's in this scene where he's like, I do that for someone I'm dating or something. And she's like, oh, are we like together? And they like, yeah. And then they kiss. Christian discusses ideas for Tabby's film, but pauses because she has a negative reaction. She admits that this was an idea that she spitballed with Chip. She's like, it was my idea, but I talked with him over, and he's like, you don't know that guy anything, and don't let him take this away from you. And she kisses him, and then asks if that's okay, and he smiles that it was for him, asking if it was okay for her, and she nods, and they kiss again. Noah is working at Pinball Pizza when she gets an anonymous call. It's from the police, and we cut to her visiting the pool to ask Sean to post Jen's bail because she got caught by her dad sneaking into his house, and he called the cops. The bail is for $2,000, and Sean eventually smiles and agrees to help. My God, Noah. You're taking $2,000 from this man, and then you go and cheat on him?
Boy,
That's true.
not that it makes the cheating any better.
He's just a boy.
You can steal $2,000 from a boy.
Exactly. Tabby submits her short to Pift. At the Millwood pool, Faran gets a visit from the mother whose daughter almost drowned and thanks Faran for saving her child and is glad that there are people like Faran who run toward danger, not away from it. Jen apologizes for dragging Noah into her family drama, and Noah tells her it was her idea to take the watch. Jen says she feels all alone, and Noah's like, you're not, and then they make out. Mouse and Ash explore Millwood looking for Rose, but have come up empty and eventually decide to split up to cover more ground. Faran gets a call from Bloody Rose saying that her test is ready. If she's strong enough. Faran asks when and where. Bloody Rose tells her to come to a construction site alone. Faran gets a box cutter and heads to the site. Once she gets there, there's a note that reads, a final girl can never lose her strength. Lift the girder. If it touches the ground before time runs out, someone you love dies. And then over there's a clock with a timer on it, and then there's a big metal girder in between two barrels. And so Faran goes, all right, and gets underneath it, and a clock starts for 2 hours. Girl strong.
Mm-hmm.
Mouse calls Imogen and Tabby that
I've never done anything for 2 hours unless I was hyper fixated.
let alone squat. I mean, does not squat, but at
or
least
you guys sleep for 2 hours. No, that's not true. I sleep pretty good once I'm out.
Yeah. Mouse calls Imogen Tabby that she thinks Rose is in an encampment under the bridge. Imogen and Tabby go to meet her. The rest of the girls meet by the bridge, and the girls go around with flyers asking people if they've seen Rose. One man points out Rose's tent. They find her and say they want to talk to her about her son Archie, which scares Rose as she didn't know he was alive. Rose then charges through the girls, climbs up on a bridge, and jumps off. Mouse tells them that they need to find proof that she was in fact Rose Waters. They search her stuff, and Mouse finds a picture of Angela Waters. And Imogen also finds Rose's psychiatric file from when she was in the Radley Sanitarium, where her doctor was one Dr. Ann Sullivan.
How long has Dr. Sullivan been a therapist? How old is Dr. Sullivan?
I know. And I don't remember Dr. Sullivan working at Radley before. She was just a private therapist. I mean, she was not at an institution. Faran passes the test, drops the girder, and gets back on her feet.
What happened to our creepy drunk guy who had worked at the Radley? Spencer, who helped.
That doctor?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You're saying they could be in play here?
I'm saying that it would make more sense if he had been her doctor than...
Oh, Dr. Ann Sullivan? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Dr. Ann, that's what I'm going to call her from now on, Dr. Ann Sullivan. Faran passes the test, drops the girder, and gets back on her feet. As she does, Bloody Rose appears with the knife. I love this. Bloody Rose had no intention. If Faran had called Bloody Rose's bluff, would Bloody Rose actually have had someone to attack? It's just someone you care about would have died. It's Bloody Rose is essentially being
Be
like,
more specific, because you might think I care about people, but I was just being polite.
but then it's just like, okay, if Faran doesn't call my bluff, then I just wear her down, and then I wait, and I come out and stab her. Was Bloody Rose busy? Bloody Rose just didn't like stab her during the intervening times? Or did Bloody Rose wanted to fight? Wanted a worn down fight, I guess.
But why?
I know, it's really funny that it's just like, yeah, there was no threat. I'm gonna come kill you now. Either the girder will kill you or I will. They fight, and then Faran hits her with a rock, and Bloody Rose slices her arm. Faran decides to flee and barely makes it over the chain link gate with barbed wire on top, and then Faran screams and runs away while Bloody Rose watches.
Faran should go get a tetanus shot.
Absolutely. I found it so funny that Bloody Rose just emerges with a knife. It's like, well, all right, time to kill you. Good job passing the test.
Yeah. It's a choice.
I'm just gonna stab you now.
Lola, I got a call from Rose, and she said she was calling from the other side. A ghost told me to take you to Chuck E. Cheese, so I did, with a smile. I love you. Sorry, Rosie Ricottas.
Rosie Ricottas.
What is this?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? That makes no sense, even if she's not with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's not like, oh, I got confused.
This feels like an inhaler being drugs all over again. You take 2 puffs of that albuterol, girl, and you're going to be the fastest girl in school. No, you're just not going to have trouble breathing, probably.
Mm-hmm.
If you're having asthmatic issues and you'd like your heart to race.
But it is pretty similar. It's like, really? But this has nothing to do with getting confused. Because she's not confused in that moment. It's like, oh, someone spoke to me from the other side, and I knew I needed to drive you to Rosie Ricottas.
Like, if she was like, oh, haha, I thought it was like a prank from your friends. But like, you'd think she would have asked for their names.
Yeah. Nope. Because it doesn't even make sense with what we've seen before, where it's like, you met Ash last night, and she's like, I don't remember.
Yeah, that'd be one thing.
Yeah.
Was Dr. Sullivan attacked, or was this just a coincidence?
Or, yeah, you know.
And who attacked, I guess, is really the...
Mm-hmm. Possibly an accomplice.
What if it was just Mona again?
I know, exactly. Mona's back in Billwood, and it just like was going to go visit Dr. Sullivan and just got so mad at her and saw her going down the stairs. It was just like, I'm just going to push you.
What if Mona's Bloody Rose Waters?
I would pop off. That'd be great. I would love Mona coming back. It wouldn't make much sense, but if Mona's just back in action, slicing people up, sure. You know, people could feel a certain way of like, huh? It wouldn't make sense, but like, I'd love it.
Okay.
You know, what if Dr. Sullivan's Bloody Rose?
Okay.
Pretty suspicious, huh?
Then who pushed Dr. Sullivan down the stairs?
She slipped. coming up with a thing. That's why she needed Faran worn down, you know? She couldn't Well, Faran also...
Doesn't she have a broken foot right now?
That's so she says.
Okay.
And the doctors at the hospital.
I was going to say, okay. And okay.
They're in on the take.
Kelly goes, I have my doubts. You pointed this out. And Pastor Malachi goes, no, they're the devil's doubts. What the fuck does that mean?
The devil's doubts. Because the devil's just they're just planting it in your head. Because the devil's trying to lead you down the path of temptation. I love the phrase, the devil's doubts.
The devil's doubts.
Mm-hmm.
What is the last thing you doubted about with the devil?
I mean, anytime it's like, I doubted something, you know?
There you go.
Yeah, I'm going to use that at work now, too. Sorry about missing the meeting. I just had the devil's doubts about the meeting.
We're going to be so poor when you're no longer employed because you've started bringing weird religion into the workplace. And I can't
our mother of Holy
you.
Grace, right?
Yeah, I'm like, oh no. Oh God. No pun intended. Oh wait, I already got that. Dr. Sullivan, someone pushing down the stairs. Tabby, I have 2 days to make it short, but let's go get ice cream. These girls have more time in the day than anyone I know because they have school in the morning. They each have a job in the afternoons. And then their evenings are for like running for May.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how? Like, I'm tired watching them.
This is the superpower of being in high school and it being summer. You fit so much into your summer days there. And like,
did you? Because my work shifts were too long. I had like 8-hour work days in summer.
I was working, it would be 6 to 8, depending. At least,
and mine was like, it was during the good times of the day, like where I worked didn't open until 11 and it closed at like 10. I was out of there until like 11 usually.
Yeah, I was usually done.
If I came in for the later shift.
Yeah. I was usually done, maybe a little. Yeah, because it seems like they're just working middle of the day.
Yeah. Like
so
they
got the good shifts.
And then they get the midday shift.
Mm-hmm. But I understand even at like 11 o'clock and you're like 16, it's like, yeah, let's go get ice cream.
Yeah, but would the ice cream place be open?
I didn't even think about it. Imogen is going to other ice cream shops?
Or is she at the creamery?
Could be at the creamery. Who's working? So that's actually part of my thing. I'm like, is Johnny the manager? Or is he just, because he's the one that gives her the application as well.
I was wondering if it was like, he was like the owner's kid or something.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Right,
yeah. So he's like kind of in charge, but like.
He's not like writing the paychecks or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Mouse is like, I posted insider information on the internet during a trial. And I'm like, that's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice. Why?
Uh-huh. She wanted community.
Did Mouse also post about the cage, or do you think that like came out from the trial? Because the cage and the crayons is on the website too.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't put it past Mouse that there's like more that Mouse was just kind of constantly posting about, like just kind of kept this going. You know what I mean? I am assuming that Mouse probably posted more.
Why is Dr. Sullivan all alone? No family, no visitors.
I know, it seems odd, isn't it? What's going on? Do you think she's like Allie in The Perfectionist? She's running away from family?
Oh, maybe. Maybe she's running away from Allie.
Could be. Could be running away from Mona. Mona's out on the loose as far as we know. Maybe she's still in France with her
or do you think Alex and what's her name came
and
back?
Mary?
Yeah, and then that's why Dr. Sullivan ran away.
Oh, maybe.
But I don't think they had anything to do with Dr. Sullivan.
I don't either.
Okay, Imogen having a breakdown.
Hello, Imogen.
Oh, God. Is very me. I respected that energy. Not carrying the knife and the baby because I have too much anxiety for that. And stairs? Girl, no. But Imogen having a breakdown, calling Johnny, and then immediately telling him all her drama and trauma is the most relatable scene on television I've seen in a long time. Because when I'm having a panic, if someone asks me what's wrong, I'm like, you're gonna regret this.
Here's everything.
Like, if you really want to know, like, okay, buckle in.
Right. Well, my friends are being attacked. My therapist is also being attacked. I get it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
These girls are going through a lot.
Mm-hmm. You gotta get it out too.
What the fuck did Mrs. Beasley do to Kelly? To, like, re-Jesusify her. And she's wearing the same clothes from the night before. She obviously spent the night in there.
Yeah, I'm assuming she like beat her or something and locked her in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it seemed from the way that Kelly got up and everything, it's like that this has happened before.
Mm-hmm. Is Kelly actually like re-engaged, or is she just playing along to not get hit?
Yeah, playing along. Because it's pretty just like monotone when she like comes out of there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I did like that Kelly, this is my assumption, that the reason Kelly changes the script was because of Imogen. Because of like how much she cares for Imogen. And it's like, well, I don't feel right about doing this because of like my friend and things.
Yeah.
And I think we should still be painting a more holistic picture of like a woman's choice and things.
Uh-huh.
So I assume that's coming from Imogen.
No, I like that. Mm-hmm. Imogen and Johnny kiss. We get very excited.
Mm-hmm. And they're going steady.
They're boyfriend, girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
I love it too.
And I think they're doing a good job with all the romances.
Yeah, because that's like what I really missed in the first season. I'm like, no, I don't care about the scary guy. I want them to kiss. Mm-hmm. Not with a scary guy. That's creepy.
Oh, no.
Christian and Tabby also kiss.
Mm-hmm.
And then Noah and Jen kiss, and we all go, God damn it. Noah also, like you talked about
Hot
this.
Mess Express.
She's like, let me take $2,000 from you and then cheat on you.
The audacity.
Imagine taking $2,000 from someone and also cheating on them in basically the same breath.
You immediately take that $2,000 and then go do that. And Sean has done nothing wrong, really. I mean, he runs with the wrong crowd, and
well, he might be doing steroids.
He might be doing.
He's probably doing inhalers.
But she also stayed at his house, like
yeah,
Noah.
Yeah,
and that's why I kind of laugh. Is just like this is, you know, it's women's wrongs.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I enjoyed the train wreck aspect of it, of like, here's a main character that we have to grapple with, like being a bad person.
But why couldn't it be a straight character?
Yeah.
Problem.
I think, you're hitting it.
It's only a problem because it's so prevalent. If it was like because you're allowed to have characters that are LGBTQ that are not inherently good. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to be perfect, and they don't have to be presented as these like angelic godlike characters, but like you also can't constantly use the same, I don't even call it a trope, but the same like pitfall in air quotes of like a bisexual character. It's just so problematic. It just bothers me so much.
It's just across all these shows. It just comes
like,
up again and again.
Yeah, she's bi, she's gonna cheat on you, or if he's bi, he's gonna cheat. And it's like, that's not true.
Man, was the original incident of that Lyndon James and Emily? Or it could actually probably Allie.
Allie was doing it first.
Yeah. Then
Allie was doing it to Emily, even. Faran literally does like a strongman contest while the others hunt down Rose, and I just want to know how Bloody Rose comes up with this.
It's such a good,
like, imagine you're like sitting, like, is Bloody Rose like sitting with like a little notepad just like brainstorming, like giggling, kicking her feet?
It's such a half-baked idea too, because again, what if Faran had walked away?
Yeah, would she just chase after her?
Call my bluff. Because usually I feel like in horror movies it's like you do the thing and your loved ones still end up dead, or you do the thing and it hurts you, like in Saw. You're so messed up that you're not getting out of this alive. No, Bloody Rose is just like, oh wow, you actually passed it. I just wore you down. Here's a knife. But I like, you'll see this. We'll see this more in Riverdale. More superhuman strength.
Yes. Oh.
It just loves putting characters that are doing like outside feats of strength.
I love it. Rose literally jumps into the quarry instead of talking to them when she learns that Archie is alive.
Yeah.
Why?
She kept her son in a cage.
Uh-huh.
And now he's loose.
But he's not loose anymore, isn't he?
Well, she doesn't know that.
Okay.
She just hears he's alive and then goes, I guess he's not.
Wouldn't she have assumed he was alive unless she had killed him? And if she's alive, then whose body was in the house?
Yeah, that's true.
Whose bones were there?
And how did a Clanton come to be in possession, essentially, of Archie?
Mm-hmm.
So Rose... did she think that Archie just like starved in the house? Because Rose goes to school and tries to attack the kids and then gets locked up. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't seem like anybody else knows about Archie. Mm-hmm. So did she assume that Archie was just like dead in the house?
Then whose bones are in the house, or were in the house that Archie had on the bed?
I guess Angela's? Yeah, that
we like dug up Angela to keep her in the house.
Maybe.
Okay, and then where'd she go?
I don't know who would move the bones.
I don't either.
The fun thoughts whenever we think of the Waters household.
Dr. Sullivan being Rose Waters' doctor. We already questioned this, but like, if she was a medical professional at the Radley, when was this in the timeline of her career? I'd like to see Dr. Sullivan's resume, please. And
absolutely, it's
maybe her credential and certification or whatever it is, because I have some questions about her methods.
Has Dr. Sullivan been pulling a fast one on us this entire time?
And last but not least, what's Bloody Rose's obsession with final girls, and where does it come from?
It doesn't quite fit as well into my theory that I currently have set up.
Like, is it to mock Tabby?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's pulling from Spooky Spaghetti.
Oh.
The way that they probably online refer to them, or that they use the language of cinema to talk about like real world tragedies. I'm assuming that's where that's pulling from. Like how people take like true crime and like not trivialize it, but like turned into like that kind of like pop culture thing.
Mm-hmm. Those are all my questions for you.
Okay. Well, everyone, hope you can stay after class for a special club.
The guy who runs Detective Club is a little weird.
Well, come on in.
I think he spends a lot of time on Spooky Spaghetti.
It'd probably help me, at least for this season. Not it. We're figuring things out. I think Spooky Spaghetti would fix me.
Just imagining you're having like a mental health crisis, and I'm like, baby, just go to Spooky Spaghetti.
Here, you hand me like an iPad.
Like, it's Spooky Spaghetti time.
Always calms me down. Let us step into Detective Club. Hit the wrong input. Welcome to Detective Club, everybody. So, I think that Redemption House or at least Pastor Malachi is somehow in cahoots with Bloody Rose, and that they're using Spooky Spaghetti as a way to enact their like purging of the town, and that Redemption House will be a way of pulling people in and essentially doing other types of either ritualistic murders or something to try and again purge the town of their sins. So my leading suspect for Bloody Rose, she seems pretty suspect at the moment. Maybe it's Martha. Martha going out and getting people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so the obsession with like movies and things, I think I'm maybe stretching it a little bit, but I do think it's maybe pulling from Spooky Spaghetti and like I just mentioned there, and using parlance of way people talk about real world crimes and true crimes, using like pop culture ways to essentially kind of commodify it as this like shared pop culture experience about like real people tragedies. But it doesn't quite square away everything I'm looking at, right? Like, because it could also be that Bloody Rose is someone that is obsessed with horror movies and things, because it's being a little bit more meta, like Scream, of I'm going after the girls who made it through. I'm taking down the final girls in this sense. I'm getting revenge for movie 1, season 1, to take them down, and using Bloody Rose iconography to do it. And wouldn't they also go after the promiscuous in town, much like a horror movie? But I don't have as good of a suspect for that one to really like pull in there. And I'm assuming they're probably a little bit older, like along the lines of Martha, but I don't quite know. If it ends up being Dr. Sullivan that's coming in there, I will be overjoyed if they brought back Dr. Sullivan for a heel turn.
All right.
But I'm trying to think if there's anybody else I can pull into this slot here. No, I just don't think I have another good one to pull in. So number 1 with a bullet at the moment is Martha. Could also be Pastor Malachi under those wraps. We just don't know. Going around killing people.
That's true.
But I do think it's related to our Mother of Holy Grace. That's my... And also it explain again the like purging of these sinners for the other kills. So
All right.
yeah. Well, that's it. Short and sweet Detective Club. We'll see you all next week. Goodbye. The focus on we're just having our like relationships and having a fun time. There's just kind of like less theorizing for me to do. It's just not as much that type of show as the other PLL shows where it's like, ooh, this is a clue and this is a clue and this is a clue.
Mm-hmm.
So a little shorter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A little easier on the brain.
Yeah.
Just get to soak in those nice summer vibes.
That's always what I like to say.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you can find this podcast on all your audio podcast platforms of choice at Dead Ends. But if you would like to see us and our matching Halloween sweaters, then you can head to YouTube at dead_ends. On both places, you can, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you do in the different podcatchers or YouTube places. Leave comments, ask questions and things. We're still, taking, we've got a couple weeks now. If you have questions for the finale episode, if you have questions for all the PLL series so far, we can take those and put them in its own Q&A episode after the finale. So make sure to send those in. You can comment on YouTube, or you can send them in to our email at deadendspcast@gmail.com. That is listed. That is listed. Thank you. In all the description boxes of the episodes.
Love it.
Yeah. But we're still here. We're going to find out everything.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.